It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Exactly that. Our journey with water, it starts on this show today with the news that KZN and other parts of our country are facing serious water issues. Well, it's sobering to know that South Africans out there are really helping and trying to make us self-sustainable. Now, in our studio this morning, we've got Jeremy Taylor from Water Rhapsody to help us through this. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Are we in trouble?
We're in desperate trouble.
We say that we're the 30th driest country in the... Can one say that? That we're the 30th driest country in the world?
Well, to be precise about that, we are declared a water-poor region of the world.
So with most parts that are going dry, what do we do? I mean, I've learned that we are using close to 300 litres of water per person per day, and we need to use half of that?
Well, far less than half of that.
Okay.
Without a change in lifestyle, one can achieve quite easily to use 1/3 of the water that is presently used on average. So we can reduce it from an average of 380 litres per person per day to 120 litres per person per day.
What about rural areas? I mean, do people use less water that live there?
Well, yes, rural areas, believe it or not, are mainly self-sustaining. I mean, you try and tell 100,000 farmers where they must get their water from, and they'll tell you, we get it from a roof or we get it from a borehole.
Well, that's exciting news. So we're having a water journey this morning, and we're making sure that we are self-sustainable. You have a solution for us. It looks like a homemade washing machine.
Yes, thank you so much. Homemade washing machine. Just to describe very quickly,
Yes.
grey water is defined as water from your bath, shower, hand basin and laundry.
Right.
And what we do is receive the water right where your hand is,
Okay, here.
and that then leads into this chamber here. It's called a pump chamber, and then this here is a pump, so that when the water rises, the pump switches on, and when the water falls, it switches off.
down.
And that's done automatically. So while you are, for instance, taking your shower, it will be spraying this water on your garden. Or you can put on your laundry, and it pumps out, falls into this chamber, and is all pumped onto your garden. And what is then left for you to do is to move a sprinkler once a day around your garden, and that'll give you 30 square meters of saturated soil every day around your house.
Wow.
And that will reduce your consumption by at least 1/3. And another very sharp thing to be able to do is to minimize your toilet flushing. And we have a toilet flushing device that where we have put it into, for instance, the whole of UCT, we brought down their consumption by 90%. They're only using 10% of the water that they used before. And that's been replicated in schools and houses that we have installed it in.
Sure, that's a lot less flushing, huh?
That's no, it's
It's a lot less,
it's
or
a lot
more saving.
less water
Yes.
per flush.
No, I hear you. I'm kidding about it. I love the fact that we are becoming self-sustainable, that we're thinking of ideas of how to save water. The whole morning we're talking about our journey. The KZN, are they in trouble?
KZN are in the worst of trouble. We hear that the MEC talking about the Hazelmere Dam being 30%. It's actually lower than that. But what is not mentioned is that the silt level is at 17%.
Oh dear.
So they've only got around about 12% of water available for people to use, and that 12% will be used up in 60 days. Quite right.
Wow.
By the end of August, they will have no more water.
Oh dear. Okay, so self-sustainability is the way forward. Thank you. Thank
My
you so
pleasure.
much for joining us this morning. We're finding out ways of how to save water, and I think it's an alarming fact, and I think also a wake-up call for all of us to start playing our part. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy.
My pleasure.
Refreshing that we are trying to change the world. There's loads more happening on our show. Great, what you got?